morning, or good afternoon, or good night, depending on whenever you're watching this. This is Levi from Masculine Intuition, and I decided to pop online really quickly to talk about a really cute little tarot set that I got. I didn't get this pouch with it, but there's a story behind the reason why there is a pouch around the deck. So I saw this set online. One of my friends on Instagram had it, and I was like, yes, this ticks all my buttons. So it was pretty cheap. I ordered it off of amazon.co.uk. The Dutch Amazon didn't have it, but it was really, really affordable. So this is kind of like one of those tarot starter kits. Now, normally I would start with the positive, but and there is a lot of positives about this, but right now I'm gonna start with the things that kind of bugged me a little bit. To begin with, the guidebook. What's really weird about this book, it's a very good, like nicely bound, comprehensive starter guide. I like all the information that's in here. But when you look at the colophon, because that's what we call this boring bit at the start of the book, it actually says that it's not new at all. It was published in 2009 already. So that's pretty cool. So this is a pretty new deck, but it has been published before. And I wonder if I can find the old publication, because that would be really interesting. Now, what also bugs me a little bit about the colophon is that Sarah Bartlett is credited as the author of the full set. Now, I have my doubts about whether or not she actually designed the tarot cards, but it does say that the designer is Hannah Coughlin. But designer is kind of a weird term here because it could just be the design and look and feel of the book. So it doesn't really ever say which person actually illustrated the deck. Now, the illustrations of the deck, you can already see in the guidebook, are very modern, lovely black and white, detailed line drawings, which I love. The cards have a green border, and every now and then there will be a little speck of color in the cards, as you can see. So in that sense, the book is full color. I love this Emperor, by the way. And especially with the major arcana, and we see this a lot with these more affordable like box sets. The information in there is very comprehensive. It's really, really good. So honestly, pretty good. Like, if you have, say, a friend kind of wants to get into the tarot but doesn't really want to get into the tarot, and you want to give them like a cute little set, this is probably the one to get. I mean, if they actually want to get into tarot, they should probably get a Rider-Waite or a Rider-Waite-Smith clone. But the major's pretty comprehensive explanations. But then we get into the minors, and that's where I'm kind of getting bugged. The minor arcana, right? The minor arcana are, of course, as always with these sets, less comprehensive, but what Sarah has done is she has superimposed the Rider-Waite-Smith meanings onto these pip cards. And to me, that's a big no-no. Like, Nine of Swords Rider-Waite-Smith is very obviously sleepless nights, guilt, overwhelmed with worries, wishing if only, regretting the past, obsessive thinking, refusing to forgive. Now, Nine of Swords pips to me is connected to the number 9 in the major arcana, which is the Hermit. So that would be going within regarding your thoughts, turning inward regarding your ideas, maybe stepping away from being very communicative for a while to have that communication within. So those are two completely different meanings, and this would have been a great option for her to explore pip reading in a nice beginner's guide. So I kind of have my qualms with that. Will it affect the way I read with this deck? Not really. I actually adore the pip cards. We'll get more into that later, but it's just a little bit sad. I see this happen a lot, and Another thing that is kind of weird is that don't know if you guys can see that, but the page, the knight, the queen, and king, otherwise known as the court cards, all have the same illustration within each and every suit, except for down here you will see a little pentacle. And let me show you the swords, the page of swords, yeah, or the page of wands, whatever. Same illustration, little wand. So all in all, the minor design is a little bit lazy, and that's coming from someone who loves reading with pips. So yeah, what is really good is a chapter on spreads. So this book isn't that bad, honestly. It comes with a shit ton of cool spreads that I'm definitely gonna try out and gonna use. I have seen this like 5-card variation on the Celtic Cross before. I really love that. It's one of my favorite spreads. She also had a Labyrinth spread, and that's actually really cool because yesterday I rewatched The Labyrinth and I was like, that movie's so good. So I'm definitely gonna try out this. This spread where you like basically do a pick a card reading for yourself. So you're gonna go north, are you gonna go south, are you gonna go east, are you gonna go west? So that's pretty epic. So there's a lot of spreads in here, which is great. A lot of information, a nice index. Overall, this book is pretty good. It's just that it's written for a Rider-Waite-Smith deck, and this is by no means a Rider-Waite-Smith deck. So in the trash, no, it's not going in the trash. I actually quite love it. It's a lovely little resource. And once again, this is so freaking cheap. This was like £12. Honestly, if you're a pip deck lover, I kind of recommend you get this. Now, let's take this deck out of this lovely pouch, which I got from Julius Tarot, by the way. And this is a lovely fabric. Doesn't really show, but there's specks of gold in it. It's really great. Obviously, I have played with this deck, and I'm a lazy bitch, so I'm definitely not gonna like rearrange this and put this in order. I'm not even gonna show you guys everything. But look at these illustrations. Look at how great they are. I even like all these pips. Like, give me a pip over... Let me put one of the queens aside so I can show you guys how that works later. The cups I'm not too fond of, but I guess the design is cute with the little wave coming out of it. The devil is really amazing. So yeah, maybe I am gonna flip through it. The chariot, kind of cool. That spaceship. There's a lot of like space themed. Look at this knight. A lot of space themed stuff in this deck. The sun is really cool. So whenever minors pop up, I'm just gonna flip through a little bit quicker. Death is pretty nice. A page, like I said, this is the page for every suit, and then there is a little cup down there, and of course the big ass title. The Fool is kind of like a diver diving through space. So this deck is very heavily like space themed. Oops, here the knight, a same Knight of Wands, just with a little wand underneath. So yeah, the design of, I don't even mind the pips, but I do mind the pips in conjunction to the book. But I don't mind the pips design-wise, but I do kind of mind that the courts are all the same, because it kind of negates that the Queen of Cups is different from the Queen of Wands, and in this deck, they're literally the same figure. And I mean, I can still use it. Look at that scarab beetle. Like, I love that symbolism in there. I can still use it, but it is very much a... kind of like, hey, we got to get a deck out, and the pips and quartz are kind of like an afterthought, which is usually the case with mass market pip decks. Or let me phrase it differently: mass market novelty gift store tarot decks. Yeah, like Chico Books is kind of guilty of this too. But I love the majors, especially this one. And I know that I have seen these before, but I've seen them somewhere. Like, this is like, I don't know. I don't know if Sarah Bartlett designed them or Hannah Coughlin, but these are pretty good. Here's another queen. So now we can see them side by side. So we have the Queen of Cups, we have the Queen of Swords. She does have a color difference, so that's quite new. I had not noticed this before, but there's a red going on here. I don't know if that picks up. And there's a black. Is that a black? Oh, it's a greenish color going on here. I'm pretty sure that won't pick up. But the only other difference is the suit symbol down there. So that's kind of a bummer. But once again, for £12, what can you even say about a deck that costs you £12? Love this Judgment card. It's a brain with a labyrinth inside. Getting a lot of labyrinth themes today. Serendipity or fate, or the power of mighty almighty Lord Commander Ashtar. Who knows? Justice. Love this. I mean, I could delve deep into the symbolism behind this, but lighthouses and judgment really make sense to me. I'm from a country where water and the dangers around water are very prevalent, and that lighthouse is calling out to all these like shippers that are actually like trying not to crash into the shore, but like wanna come home safely. Really love that idea. The beacon of light for judgment. So yeah, there's some more pips. The lovers is really cute. It's kind of like that mandala coloring book for adults kind of vibe, but I really love it. Some more pips. The aces are really neat though. I mean, look at that. Look at that gloriousness right there. Really like that. The Magician. Gorgeous, but kind of more getting a High Priestess vibe here with the crystal ball and the butterfly over the third eye. Kind of keeping that third eye. These influences that she sees from her third eye, kind of keeping those to herself. She kind of is the keeper of secrets within the major arcana, isn't she? Where the Magician at the start is like, boom, we're out there, like we're ready to show you whatever it is we got. The High Priestess is very much that, the one that comes after that's like, no, we're keeping this a secret. The Hanged Man, love this. So this is kind of that hourglass symbolism, which is gorgeous, but doesn't really make sense to me. But then when you look inside, there's this astronaut that's kind of literally hanging in limbo within that like time frame, almost literally. So yeah, he's kind of suspended in time. Love that idea. The Emperor, now this is a bear. I love bears. I consider myself a bear. I would have loved this for the Hermit, but I kind of get it for the Emperor too, because it's that strength and that structure of every year around the same time going into hibernation, yada, yada, yada. Love that. Now here we have the High Priestess. Okay, it's a female astronaut in space. We do have the moon phases right here, which is kind of cute. I really hope this is all focused and this picks up, because I'm not reshooting this. If it's unfocused, sorry guys, it's going up on YouTube. But yeah, this is actually, it's kind of cute. Is it the greatest High Priestess symbolism? No, I probably would have put the Magician's illustration on here, discarded this one altogether, and made a new Magician symbol. Two of Pentacles, always my favorite card in basically every deck. And now that I can see the Pentacles a little bit bigger, I actually see that this is a seashell. So that's quite lovely. Another king, but the kings are all the same. So the Wheel of Fortune. Now this is what we see on the cover of the book. I mean, I know that a lot of people are not the biggest fans of the wheel. Let me see that up close. Wait a second. Yeah, the elemental connotations are not necessarily there, but like I said before, it's a 12-pound deck. you're not going to get the greatest, most thought out symbolism ever. This is more or less an aesthetic. So here we have the Page of Pentacles, and here we very clearly see that added color. So I have to keep that in mind because this is something I just discovered, and apart from the fact that the titles are pretty big, like during a reading, if you get multiple pages in one reading, for example, these colors are going to help you. Now here we have the Hermit. I love this. I really love this. It's this outdoorsy guy standing in front of this vast mountain. Love that. King of Cups, Swords, another page. Once again, that color is very prevalent here. You may or may not hear a vacuum in the back. And once again, I used to be very concerned about like having perfect like videos. I don't really care anymore. This tower illustration is gorgeous. Does it show destruction, disruption? Not at all. But it looks like a nice like fairy tale illustration, which is pretty cool. Like a Russian fairy tale, maybe. Kind of love that. Another queen. Yeah, she has that color difference too, but you can't really see it that well in the queens. Nor with the kings, because with the kings it's these stars on this side where you can tell which element it belongs to. Temperance. Now this is interesting. Here we once again have that hourglass kind of, and it's kind of these hands holding up a certain matter that still gets to slip through, but more like in controlled doses rather than just streaming through. So I kind of get that alchemy, that temperance, that art vibe from this. So the symbolism in some of these illustrations is really, really good. And in some of the illustrations, it is pretty bad. Look at this Ace of Pentacles. I love it. I love pips. I don't know why. There's something like very mystical about them. The cups, I'm the least excited about. So obviously we're gonna get questions like, is the cardstock like super good and like matte and velvety? No, of course not. This is a $12 deck. The cardstock is really good for a $12 deck. It doesn't have the best core. The backs are pretty basic but gorgeous. But I've kind of stopped minding cardstock that much. I mean, if it's really abysmal, I will like complain. But yeah, it's somewhere, this sits somewhere between the horrible Llewellyn Shadowscapes cardstock, which is a total travesty, and the more like modern Llewellyn cardstock. It's semi-matte, so it's basically playing card stock, so it's pretty okay. I don't think it has like the best core ever. I mean, it shuffles fine, as you can see. A riffle shuffles fine. Whoops, there goes my nice altar cloth, which I got from the ever so friendly Shaheen Miro. Really gorgeous. But yeah, as you can see, it shuffles fine. I love how the colors on the back remind me of the 90s for some reason, where this color combination can be like headache inducing, so it's kind of interesting why they chose that. We used to have like me and my friends used to have like little competitions way back when, and we'd stare at this color combination. Whoever like could do it the longest would win nothing, but would win eternal glory. So yeah, we're getting a pretty good pip based set with a really good Rider-Waite style guidebook with really interesting points of view on the majors, not so interesting points of view regarding the pips. Look at that, it didn't split that well, but still will make do. I've already shown you how. Let me show you again, because I'm an overachiever and I want to show you guys that I can actually riffle very good, because I'm an annoying little twat. Okay, this looks good. Here you see it, it splits very nicely, very evenly. Now let me pull a card and see if I can give you a little taste of how I would read this deck. So Nice little message for the collective. Ooh, there we go. This is rather nice. We got the Ace of Pentacles, which is cute because I love an ace. So how I would read this is, you know, the power of everything earthy. So your possessions, your house, your body, your health, your life, your abundance, your money, your work. So all these earthly matters. A really strong force of these earthly matters are being like handed to you, is coming into your life. That energy is coming into your life, and it's up to you to do something with it. It's up to you to recognize it. But that like raw power of abundance, of basically this is like the feel good self-care on a physical level kind of card. But it's very easy to pass up on that energy, not recognizing that something is being offered to you. It can be very literal. This can mean like a very generous gift is being offered to you and you're passing up on it, maybe. Now let's see what Sarah Bartlett has to say about this in the guidebook, because I'm actually kind of interested how she interpreted it. Because I kind of like, I did read a little bit of this, but when I saw the tips and how she described them, I was like, meh. Okay. Results, prosperity, abundance, being realistic, power to get what you want, being grounded and focused, seeing a way to achieve your goal, trusting the situation. And she very much draws attention to the, it's time to be realistic about what you want, but also if you make an effort and come down to earth, you'll succeed in your ventures. Okay, that's interesting. A gift coming your way, an opportunity or a realistic offer. Use your talents to follow up new resources. So it's interesting. It's cute. It's actually a pretty good book. She writes very nice. She writes nice little texts. So yeah, that was the Ace of Pentacles. Let's see what the next card would have been, because I know most people hate pip cards. Another pip, another pip, another pip, another pip, another pip, another pip, and then the Wheel of Fortune. So, you know, like if you really, really dislike pips, don't get this deck. Don't be fooled. In general, like, always try to watch flip-throughs of decks. Don't be fooled by pretty majors. If you hate pips, which I think is dumb because I love them, because they're way more mysterious than these illustrative minors. If this deck is totally for you. If you hate pips, don't get this deck, and please watch reviews or flip-throughs of decks before you purchase. Don't just pre-order any old shit. Watch flip-throughs. Have patience. You don't always have to be the first one to get the deck. Maybe that's just me, but it annoys the crap out of me. All these young people that are... I'm still young, but I'm like 32. I'm turning 33 in a couple of months. All these younger people that are so used to getting every single thing they want on release day. And then sometimes when I see those people get a little bit disappointed, I can get a little bit bitter and say, huh, told you so. Be patient, wait for a nice flip through so you know if that deck is for you or not. I'm probably gonna use the shit out of this because I like it. So special thanks to Tarot in the City and Crystal108 on Instagram for showing me this deck. Special thanks to Julius Tarot for providing me with this lovely tarot pouch. And thank you to Sarah Bartlett and whoever illustrated this deck for re-releasing a very nice and cute tarot set. And thank you for watching. This has been Levi from Masculine Intuition Readings, and goodbye. Post-editing Levi here. The reason why I keep the deck in a lovely deck bag made by Julius Tarot, you can find him on Instagram, or you can find him on Etsy as Julius Handmade, is because when I got the deck, it didn't really come in a box. It kind of came in a very flimsy cardboard tray with a paper wrapping around it, so I decided to not keep that. But once again, like, for £12 you get a pretty good tarot study book that is really accessible and that you can probably learn tarot with really well, because I kind of like the way she describes the cards. And you get a very nice, cute, Instagram friendly modern deck. So yeah, that's kind of neat. But I forgot to tell you why I had to keep it in a bag, because the box it comes with is pretty crappy. So if you get this, make sure that you have a little bag. It doesn't have to be an expensive bag. It could be in a neat little like cotton pouch that I have right here, or a really nice pouch like this from Julia's Tarot or Julie's Handmade. That's all. Bye-bye.